Hi there, Andreas here with ExpressPads Finger Drumming, and today I'd like to show you how you can use the sequencer of your Akai MPD 232. And there are mainly three different modes to do it. One is to use this step sequencer here where you click the different buttons which resemble the notes. This one is dependent on the pad you have pressed before, and the other way to do it is to just record a complete groove on your pads. And the third one is to use the software sequencer that comes with the editing software of the Akai MPD 232. Now, before you get started with sequencing anything, I would really suggest that you learn how you can erase anything, because this is a function that you will need very often. So when you have recorded something and you think you can't use it, then you need to go to Edit and hit Sequence Record, and then this option here will show up that you can clear either all, or if you use the rotary knob here, you can clear the sequence of specific pads here. Okay, once you know this, the next one is to get a metronome, right? So since it doesn't have a built-in metronome, you need to create a metronome yourself before you just record into this. So I will just take this pad here, say sequence edit, and I will just go with one hit per beat, and then let's listen how it sounds. So you can start the sequencer by clicking this button here. Okay, that's a metronome. And if you then want to add different elements here, like a bass drum, you hit this pad and you start adding the bass drums. Next, let's go to the snare drums, hi-hats, secondary hi-hats, secondary bass drum, secondary snare drum. Okay, and that's your hardstyle beat, and that's one way to do it. When you're there are a couple of things that you can change now. So for example, the tempo. And when you're in edit mode, you just go to this tap tempo button, and then you can change the BPM. Let's do this. Or go a bit faster. So that's one option. Another one which I really like is the swing option. So it's down here. Currently it's at 61% from the last performance that I made, but let's go to 50, and so that's really straight. And then turn it up a bit. And what you need to know is that the swing feature is related to the time division that you have here, and currently it's set to 1/16, which is good for this setup here, but you could also change that to 1/8 or whatever, depending on what you want to create here. Furthermore, you see this gate percent function there. And that means if you're not working with drum samples, so drums are one shot and there it doesn't matter, but if you want to work with tonal elements, this determines how long your notes will sustain. And the more you go in the area of 0%, the shorter it will be, and the higher you go, the more sustaining your notes will be, even like a legato effect. Another way to record a sequence into your MPD 232 is to just play a groove on the pads. And in order to do this, you should turn the tap tempo LED on, Currently it's off, so let me turn it on. And then it blinks in sync with the tempo. And now you will notice something when I turn the sequence on. Look at this light flashing. It seems to be on the offbeat, right? So not right on the beat. So what I want to say with this is you can't use this one as a visual metronome. You rather have to focus on the timeline down here. And before I would just get dizzy with looking at, you know, all these knobs here, the flashing knobs, and then trying to play something, I would again suggest that you start with a metronome that you recorded yourself on one certain pad. Okay, let's do this again. First of all, we will erase the sequence again. So it's completely gone now. And then go to edit mode again. Use this pad again as a metronome, and then we can start recording our sequence here. And there it is. And you notice immediately that it's not that easy to record something right on time here. So let's just go through the different pads and find what we have recorded down here. So that's actually like editing what you have played. I know I've played a bass drum and I see the first one was missing, and I don't think it was missing. I just overwrote the first hit that I played in this sequence. So when I play a beat, I start at 1, and then the second bar begins and I hit the bass drum again. I'm not overwriting my first hit, I'm actually erasing the first hit that I did. This is something really important that you need to keep in mind. Yeah, so that was the bass drum. Hi-hat, the same, that makes sense. There is no snare drum on that place. This is the open hi-hat. This is the closed hi-hat. And here I think I would like to tweak it a little. Then this one wasn't used. And here we have a snare drum. And now it should sound better immediately. Let me just erase the metronome again, and then... yeah, that's better. So now I think we have covered a couple of things that are special to the hardware sequencer, and I hope this really makes it easier for you to work with the sequencer. Eventually, once you have created your sequence here, you can record this into your DAW or play it live or whatever. But what I haven't found so far is a way to create multiple sequences and use them in a way that you just play them one after the other, you know, like with many other groove production studios where you say, okay, this is part 1, this is part 2, select them by hitting a pad or so. I haven't found something like this here, and if you know how to do it, just let me know. Otherwise, that's all I can say about the sequencer here. Eventually, I'd like to show you how you can create a sequence using the software sequencer that comes with the MPD 232. And in order to get there, you need to open the software editor, go to Tools, Sequence Edit, and then you can start editing your sequence. But before this, you should check your steps that you have in the sequence. By default, it's set to 16. You can choose another sequence length. I will just leave it here at 16. And there are basically two ways now to create a sequence. The first one is to just double click into the different cells here. And that would mean on each and every beat, I would have placed one note for pad 1. And the other way to do it is to just use the velocity area down here and then pull up a bar, which then resembles the velocity of the step that you've just created. And I think this is the better way to do it because you can immediately change the velocity of your steps and then create some meaningful rhythms. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a like, and also if you want to stay informed of finger drumming topics, hardware reviews, software reviews, then please subscribe to this channel.